So, hello. Not gonna wait for people to get on. People can find this later on, but welcome to Angels of Purpose, where we feed your soul food, food for your soul. And this is the Let's Talk About It series podcast. So we are going to talk about um great innovators. All right. So this is Black History Month. Black History Month for me is every day of the year. A lot of people don't know the great inventions like the red light, three-way red light, stop, red, green, yellow light was invented by an African American because most of the times they're not taught in school. Did you even know that the caller ID was invented by an African American female? Now, if you want to find out a lot more great inventors, innovators, their names and their contributions to helping make our lives easier, you can go on Angels of Purpose Facebook page, or you can visit this Facebook page and scroll on down, and you'll see as we're posting different days how we're spotlighting different innovators all during Black History Month, because we have to educate ourselves and encourage one another to know that intelligence and the creativity is there. It doesn't matter what gender, it doesn't matter what ethnicity, but all should be celebrated in their innovation, in their skill set, in their intelligence. And so that we can show our kids, our youth, that no one has the ability to say what you can or cannot do, and to put you down. As long as you put your mind to it and do what's needed, the work, and put in the effort, you can achieve whatever you put your mind to. Because once you put your mind to it, you can put your resources into it, get the right resources, the right people to help you, and you can make it happen. All right. And in making that happen, let's put some God into it. God will place the right people in your life at the right time to give you encouragement, or to even give you the motivation where you think you don't need, that may hurt at the time, but later on down the road you may understand, oh, well, at the time I didn't understand why Minister Cooper or Miss Cooper was so hard and so strict, or teaching us so much, or giving us so much work, or making us learn so many things, right? But now I understand it because it's helping me out in this next level of life, whether it's the next grade, whether you're an adult and it's on your job, it's something that you needed to know, the information, or just a strategy or a resource to help you in life. That is what Angels of Purpose Ministries is here to do. That's what Angels of Purpose business consulting is here to do, to help, to educate, to empower, but also teach you how to not just get a fish and eat a fish, but teach you how to fish so you can be successful all your life, and not just for that day in eating that one fish. But if you know how to fish, or if you know how to utilize resources, if you know how to do your research, if you know how to educate yourself, then you can educate yourself on doing whatever you need to do to be successful, and whatever you need to do to put your life in your hands to better your life, and to have more, not just more money, not just more material things, but more confidence in what you can achieve, what you can accomplish, and just who you are being. So that's the greatest thing, knowing how to utilize resources, knowing that you have great innovators that you may not have known about. African American males, African American females. Great innovators who have created stuff like the stoplight, like gas masks, like the GPS system, like being able to have caller ID and being able to block calls you don't want, and all of this kind of stuff. All the stuff that some people may take for granted, they don't even know who invented it. Now, if you want to know the name of the person who invented it, you will be able to see that on my Tiffany Cooper Facebook page, on Angels of Purpose Facebook page, and I probably need to upload it to my TikTok, and as well, not yet. Well, I think I deleted TikTok because of issues and stuff were going on. So, but the Facebook, and I will maybe upload it into Instagram. But you will definitely be able to get that information. If you need, all the different things that have been invented that people may take for granted, but you want to know who invented them. And these great African-American innovators, both female and male, male and female, who've done these great things, who were doing them in the 1970s, creating all this stuff that we're able to utilize, and then people just enhanced them more. But these things we're taking advantage of now. 1970s, 80s, and the 1990s, and then the early 2000s, a lot of my inventions. And then we can go on back to the 1800s. And then before then, if we talk about world history and black innovators during world history, we will even add that. Mansa Musa was like the richest person in the whole wide world ever that people don't know about, and his strategy and how he got all that wealth and gained that wealth and kept that wealth, and that he was a black man, right? So all of these things we want to talk about, we want to learn about, we want to share with you. We want to talk about current events as well, sports. What I am going to start doing is, if I can get to it every day of the week, we will at least have a video posted at least once a week. But then you will also see all my important information of these black innovators for Black History Month. You will see that on my postings written out for you. So you will be able to go out, print it out for yourself, so that you will be educated on the great woman who created caller ID, the great man who created the three-way stoplight, the person who created the GPS system, so we don't get lost and know where we're going and don't have to read maps like people used to have to read paper maps anymore. So all of these things we will educate you on and help get you to know. And for some people may know it, and this may be reconfirming. We just want to make sure this information is getting out there. One of the people, if I want something taught, if I want people educated about something, I'm not going to wait on somebody else to educate me, or to educate the kids I work with, or educate the people I work with in the church. I'm going to put it out there, and it's up to people to be able to what? Watch it, to read it, to retain it, and then apply what they've learned. All right, so we're not going to be long. Hopefully I will be able to do another video on tomorrow. A little bit longer, but today the key people were the woman who created the caller ID, and worked with AT&T, and also she was the first African-American female to get her doctorate's degree from MIT. So you want to go back and read about her. I have a posting before this, and I will make sure I pin it to the top, so you'll have her name and all of that information. And then I want you to do a little research yourself. So you can't say, I just said it. So again, research who invented caller ID. Okay. And who was the first Black African-American. This is the same person who graduated from MIT with a doctorate degree. All right. A lot of people don't know this and don't know her name. And we need to make sure it's shared. We need to make sure that you have it. Let me see if I can do this, play around. I need to see if I can upload a video and upload messages. So as I'm talking, I can have a diagram for you to see and the information. I'm going to see if I can pull that up here, that information, so you can see it as I am talking. I don't know. I know I can add my website, and I need to put this on my website too, African American History. Add this information, and so you can see it on Angels of Purpose website. But let me see if there's a way I can pull up things while I'm live and talking to you, so you can actually see it, the stuff that is on my Facebook page as well. So I added my website for you there. Let's see here. Have the questions and answer, have the polls things. And see, if I was doing it on my computer, my laptop, I would be able to see it a little bit more. This time I'm just doing it on my phone here. Let's see here. Hopefully it doesn't pause me. If it pauses me, I will be right back. I'm going to see if there's a way I can pull up a document without it just being a link, but a document. If I can't, I will try to pull up my Facebook link. I'm going to copy and paste that in here. Oh, all right. So it did pause me, so I guess can't do that live. I got to figure out how to do that. I know on YouTube you can do stuff and show stuff in the background live as you're talking and speaking. I think you have to have a third party app in order to do it on Facebook. Give me 1 second here. Here we go. I'm going to go ahead and spoil the surprise, but Dr. Shirley Jackson was the woman who created caller ID and who was the first African American female who got her doctorate degree from MIT. And then you can go back and look at the other people that I've talked about all week long. I try to do one Black African American male one day, Black African American female another day, African Mansa Musa. I'm gonna have a whole thing about Mansa Musa as well, who is the richest person in the world ever. And we're going to do some research and talk about how he gained that wealth. We will have that written down for you in a post. So look forward to that as well. So we'll probably do Mansa Musa on tomorrow. And now look, adults, I'm not only just doing this for the adults, I'm breaking it down in my classroom as well, give the Black history facts, as well as teaching kids how to do argumentative writing, informative writing, as well as doing teaching them how to research and get the resources about things that they need to know, which is very important. In order to be successful in life, you need to know how to research. You need to know how to get access to important resources that will help you and benefit you in life. And also you need to know the right people to connect with that can help you, that's been successful in life. So those are the key things Angels of Purpose Ministries, Angels of Purpose Business Consulting help people with. Whether you're a business organization, whether you're a student, whether you're a church organization or any other nonprofit, those are the things we talk about. So again, please make sure you go back. And what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to separate my Black History segments instead of having it in my Let's Talk About It series podcast. I'm going to create something and start uploading my videos about the Black Innovators and put that on YouTube. But that's another link. You can go to my YouTube link and you will have information on Dr. Shirley Jackson. You will have information on Latimer. You will have information on Mansa Musa. You will have information on who invented the GPS, Dr. Gladys West. You will have information on who invented the three-way stoplight. Many innovators. I don't know if we'll get over 100, but we'll try to do like 3 or 4, mention their names and their inventions every time we get on. And then we will also have a spotlight of one with some information and more in-depth information for you on the Facebook page and over on Instagram. And the videos will be on YouTube. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you learned something. But again, remember, the people who invented the stoplight, the person who invented the GPS system, Dr. Gladys West, the person who invented caller ID and the first African American female to graduate with a doctorate degree from MIT was Dr. Shirley Jackson. All right, so you all have a blessed and prosperous day. Please share this. Please get this out, because if we're not teaching ourselves this information, if we're not researching it, it will be lost. No one will ever know. If we're not teaching our kids this, it will be lost. No one will ever know. And trust me, I'm not only doing this here. I do this in my church, teaching and educating my youth in the church about important Black innovators. And I will also be doing it no matter wherever I go. But again, you'll be able to see this. I will put it on my Angels of Purpose website. You will see it on Angels of Purpose YouTube. You'll be able to get this information on the Facebook page, Tiffany Cooper Facebook page, Angels of Purpose Facebook page. So check that out all there. If you want to know Black innovators, Black inventions, things that you may have not known that people invented, that is very important. that most people don't mention or even learn when they are in the school system. So those are the things that we will be bridging the gap from what people did not learn in school or are not learning. My class is, or at least they're hearing about it. Whether they're retaining it and I'm drilling it in enough for them, that's a different story. But with this argumentative writing, we're going to get deeper into that. So they will remember some. Everybody know Dr. Martin Luther King. Most people know about Rosa Parks. They know about those people. But Dr. Shirley Jackson, right? Dr. Gladys West, and who invented the gas mask and the stoplight. That person, he invented more than like 5 things. And then talking about the great athletes, you can do the athletes, the artists, you can do the social activists, you can do those who made different strides and made the way for, like, currently you have, and most people may know this, Dawn Staley, who was the first African-American female, I think she's the first African-American female or male to win multiple NCAA championships in the NCAA since the NCAA has been created. Althea Gibson. Most of our kids now don't even know Althea Gibson. Most of our kids don't know Jesse Owens. Most of our kids, and this is the sports things that you think they may know. Some adults might even not even know that as well, right? I learned something different because I didn't know the person who had created the caller ID was black. Now I know the person who initially did the cell phone was black. The person who invented the internet initially was a black, male, right? So a lot of these things, unless we get out there researching and do it and let people know and talk and have conversations about these things and these people won't know, right? Today we're spotlighting again Dr. Shirley Jackson, the first woman to graduate from MIT with a doctorate degree. And also she was the one who created caller ID. And she worked closely with AT&T. All right. So again, if you want to go and listen to or see the other people I spotlighted, they're posted with the information like I talked about. The inventor of the 3-way stop signal light. And he invented like 2 or 3 things. So you'll see that up there. Well, not 2 or 3. He invented about 4 or 5. Now, let me just say this. Our kids do also know about George Washington Carver. But do our kids know about Medgar Evers? No. For the most part, do they know about because President Barack Obama, that happened pretty recently, but for those who are younger, they still may be like, okay. I got some answers like I said, who's the first black president of the United States? Some of them, because it was so recent, said Kamala Harris. I said she didn't win though. Or officially when they did it and said it officially, they didn't say she officially won the ballots and everything. So she didn't take office. But President Barack Obama, and then, some of the other kids didn't know. And I was like, okay, good. We're good there. So we need to learn this information so that we can give it to our kids, so we can share this information to our kids. Because if we don't, the history will be lost. If we don't, the knowledge will be lost. There's a quote that says, those who don't, learn history, tend to repeat it, right? If you don't learn from the mistakes of the past, or even if you don't learn from the positive things in the past, then how are you going to have a better present and a future? You have to have knowledge and wisdom and understanding of what has already happened so you can build a solid foundation, whether good or bad, so that you can build a solid foundation and know how to handle and obtain and retain resources. Because that's the key. The difference between people who are very successful in life are those who know how to obtain resources and retain resources and utilize those resources in a way that benefits them and they work into their knowledge. Just like when the Europeans, when they found out Africa was so rich in resources, right? So what was the first thing they did? Without asking any of the, and they do teach this now, in their social studies and history classes. They divided up Africa without asking any African leader to be there. So the Europeans cut it up so that they could prostitute and get all the resources out of Africa, right? Just steal from Africa, basically. From the African people, the continent of Africa. And then they cut it up and divided it and tried to make the people fight against each other so that they can steal it and people wouldn't know what they were doing because of all the infighting. So that's what people who know how to obtain and retain, but you want to do it in a positive way, not to steal, but to help to benefit your community, to help to benefit your family. And that's why we have to know history. We used to have griots. If you do some research, a griot was a storyteller. A griot was one that passed on the story or the information from different lineages down from one generation to the next. All right. And when people who were kings and queens and people who are doing great things on the continent of Africa, when they were brought over to North America, South America, and to the different islands, they told the people that, you can't speak your original language. You can't tell those stories and different things like that, right? They didn't want, so a lot of that got lost, except for the people who was hiding and doing it, right? So it doesn't matter. I'm going to just say this. It doesn't matter where you come from. Everybody comes from greatness. It's just understanding that we all have added to the greatness of this country, the greatness of this world, right? Because innovators were all ethnicities, all colors, and created different things. The Mayans created, the calendar, right? The Egyptians, the Great Pyramids. And Cleopatra, if you really actually study and not just look at these black and white movies or the movies that the Hollywood do, Cleopatra was a woman of color. That was one of the reasons why Mark Antony and why Caesar, had a little bit of whatever with the Senate of Rome, because she was a person of color. Okay. She was a black woman. So we have to study and know and research this before the tools, the research, the books start being burned or all of that start disappearing. We have to research and get all this information in our heads, in our minds, in a place where we can regurgitate it, educate others, right? And spit it out like the back of our hand. Just like we know different other things, like the Pledge of Allegiance, like we know, some people may know, the 13 stripes, the original colonies, or the capitals of states, and what they mean and all of that. A lot of people don't know that most of the people from, when they came over to the United States, it wasn't United States, was it? There were Native Americans who were here, taught them how to do everything. And then those people from the European continent, European countries, right? Saw the land and resources. They wanted it because they were debtors in the European countries and they didn't want to go to jail. So they came over here to have freedoms, and they would say their religious freedoms as well. And they got the land from, like, the natives who were already here didn't think the land belonged to anybody, that the land was to be worshipped and cherished and not taken for granted, as well as the animals. And they were like, they helped them. They taught them, right? They taught the first pilgrims and all of that kind of stuff. And they celebrated them with them. And then they started taking their land and moving them off of their land, right? But if we look at things now, at least some of the Native Americans did get what they did to get their, they got casinos, they have land that they all lived on together and different things, and casinos that they still get money from. Some people would say. Now, even if we go back into history, I can even talk about the Black Wall Street that was done. When you go back into history and different things, in time, all the greatness people of color, Black American females, Black American males did, that are not taught about, or that might have been washed away or been threatened because people didn't like the success, like the Black Wall Streets, like what happened in Oklahoma, what happened in Texas, what happened in all these different places that was successful, and Black people were thriving, and that they got rid of them, started burning fires. They did whatever to get rid of them. So when people start saying things about how being stereotyping and making you feel biased, don't look down on yourself. So this is my message here. Don't allow you, yourself, or your kids to look down and say, well, Black people were never great. Black people never accomplished or achieved anything. A lot of the things that have been achieved today, a lot of the greatest inventions and a lot of the best innovators were Black people, Black women, Black men. And we wouldn't have those things if it would not have been for our ancestors. That means people who lived before us, who created those. Some may be still living, some may have already died. We have to teach our kids this. We have to teach each other this. We have to be the griots, the storytellers of what has happened from one century to the next, from decade to the next decade, 100, 200, 300 years ago, right? 1,000 years ago, before Black people were enslaved in the United States, before they were enslaved in the islands. What were the great things they were doing in Africa? I talked about one time that people said that Black people, and especially on the continent of Africa, were pagans and didn't know anything. One of the first Christians was an Ethiopian eunuch, which means saved himself, right? He wasn't doing anything sexually. So it was somebody who knew the word. He was Ethiopian, a man of color. And Christianity, he didn't know, and he helped create churches. We also have to look again. I said Cleopatra was one of the last pharaohs in Egypt. Was a woman of color, was a Black woman, right? So even before people were enslaved and before the colonizers started trying to take credit for what Black people did, people of color and Black people have always been innovators, have always been creative, because God creates everybody. He creates everything he creates are beautifully and wonderfully made. So don't allow anybody to let you get down on yourself, or to say you're less than just because of your race, just because of your gender, or anything else. You are somebody. And I guarantee you, if you research your ancestors, you will see where one of them created or was an innovator or was a pioneer of something that you didn't even know about. Have a blessed and prosperous day. We will talk again very soon, but you will see everything uploaded to Facebook, and I will upload this video to YouTube. So, of course, please make sure people go to the Angels of Purpose YouTube page and look at the Let's Talk About It series podcast, as well as my Black History Month features, which this will be the first video for my Black History Month. I think I might have another one that I need to upload that I did earlier too, this week or last week. So I may have 2 or 3 videos for the Black History Month celebration, part of the Let's Talk About It series, but it's just going to say Black History Month celebration of pioneers or innovators. So have a blessed and prosperous day, and we will talk and see you soon. Please pass on the word. Please pass on the information. Don't allow anyone to tell you that you're less than. Remember, you're great, you're beautifully and wonderfully made, and you are somebody. Have a blessed and prosperous day.